Hi, Electric Roo here. Today I wanted to talk briefly about a Compaq Deskpro EP computer that I had on the bench in that last video I did on computers. And I got this thing up and running, and this guy is an old tank. This was built back in 1998, and what is amazing, I know where this PC came from. It ran steady. It was never turned off. It was part of a networking system, and it ran up until the beginning of this year with Windows 95 on it until it was replaced. The system was totally ripped out and there was a replacement put in, but it did its job all the way up until then. I had the original disc restored this here, the old Compaq, so I restored it back to its former glory out of the box. And the only changes I made, I had a Diamond Viper 550 video card that I put in it, and it's got a Celeron 400 processor. There's the video card sitting there that I changed. The original, it's a Compaq video card, but the original card was this Matrox board, MGA Matrox, which was in there. Has a modem, networking card, which actually works, and Soundblaster, Compaq Soundblaster sound card. And it's a tribute to how well they built these old things back in the day. There's a tape backup in it, which it's one of those Colorado 4.8 gig backup, but it's dead. Those things were very notorious for having problems with them. So let's fire it up real quick and give it a go. On one other note, which is interesting, I did swap out the hard drive because the original one was noisy, but it still works. And this, again, here was a 1998 hard drive that was never turned off in all those years. You can see the date on it. Which is a testimony to how well they built things back then. I just wonder if today's computers, there it is, the old Windows 95 startup. Other than that, she runs pretty good. If you see what it's compared to, let's boot up SYS Sandra 99 Standard. And I can't say how well these benchmarks are, but if we go to the CPU benchmark, we can give it a second and watch it, see what it compares to. And it is really not that much, if you look, it's not that much slower than a Pentium 2 450, which has 512K of cache on it. This Celeron 400 only has 128K of onboard cache, but the difference is, believe it or not, the Celerons almost ran as fast because of one thing. The Celeron's cache ran at full speed, and the cache in the Pentium 2s ran at half speed. I don't know why, other than Intel was saving money because 512K is kind of more expensive, so they used a slower speed. But you can see the benchmark there, what it compares to. There's the old AM2 K6 on there, which running pretty close to that, K6 400. And if we go check out the, where's the mouse? Lost it. The Multimedia Benchmark here. Real quick. Now, of course, these aren't, there's better benchmarks out there, but it just gives you a basic idea. We can see again, it's a little slower than the Pentium 2 450. And it's actually a little slower on the Multimedia than the K6 2400, which is interesting. So I just threw a couple games on here to see how it compared or how it ran, let's boot up couple Microsoft games. Here's a old Microsoft Pinball Arcade. It was one of the favorites of my day back in the day. Nice intro there. Let's get past that. And it runs pretty smooth, these old games, which are now, I think back in those days, I was working with K62 chips, and I remember 95 being awful dang slow, so I don't know. But then again, this is a better video card than I had. I had a Monster Fusion video card. I think I paid, it was a Diamond Banshee, it was a 3DFX Banshee chip. I think I paid like $90 for it back then. Let's play a pinball game here. And it was a little bit slower than this V550 Diamond, but it plays pretty smooth. Let me turn it up a little bit here. And I always like this game because, boy, it sounds just like the original. You can even hear the flippers humming, just like it was the real thing. But you really need two hands to play this to bump, but it plays smooth. Gotta love those old pinball games. Microsoft did a nice job rendering these things. Let's get out of there. Exit. And here's another one. Let's pop up, how about Motocross Madness? Another Microsoft game. Let's see, and I'm running this in, let me see, where are we at? The maximum there that'll go is 1152 by 864. Looks like this is only a 16 color game, and I ran the graphics quality all the way up there. So let's pop up a single player game here real quick. Practice, single event. Hear the coyotes there. Now again, I'm only doing this one hand. I know I'm going to crash. But this was a fun game back in the day. I missed. Oh, there you go. See, that's what happens. So you could have some fun, do some stunts in this, crash, and such as this. Little fun game to screw around with. So all in all, interesting old PC, Windows 95 to have around. Just for posterity, I guess. Hey, this is a piece of history. So if you have any questions or have any comments, just shoot me an email. And I got another project I'm working on. I always have all these old Windows 98 programs and games, and I'm working with an old Windows 98 laptop. Actually, I found a Latitude C800, a Dell, and I got some enhancements, some different graphic cards for it. I'm going to use a compact flash card for the hard drive and some other things, and we're going to beef it up as much as we can, and we'll have a nice little Windows 98 gaming laptop when we're done. So until then, have a good day.